Kobe, number one. He had the master killer mentality.
This guy was relentless. Relentless.
Having somebody like that early on in my career, I mean, changed everything for me.
And I'm probably gonna get in trouble for telling you this. We actually hired Kobe Bryant.
At Turner.
At Turner.
Don't waste my time. You know, Kobe and I used to talk about that, which is so funny because I always think about our conversations about just being ready and how you show up.
My all-time favorite Kobe moment was when I got to stop on Kobe. He slapped me on the leg. I'm like, yeah. He said, that ain't had nothing to do with you, young fella. I just missed. You had the opportunity to play with, and in a major way, D-Wade, Kobe, and Penny. You played with Bron. To me, that was kind of the tail end of your career. Like, it wasn't as Shaq dominant as you were with those guys. When you look at those three guys, though, rate them.
It's tough to rate them because we speak a language, right? And if I say in our language, but it gets out, not saying that your show would do that, but even if you put out a clip, the ones that don't comprehend our language will try to make it look like I'm rating them. But I'm going to rate them because you're a good friend of mine and you asked me to do it. Kobe, number one. He had the master killer mentality. And I like to say I helped him get that. Because when he first came in, I put the Donovan test on. Motherfucker, you ain't shit. No, don't shoot. Fuck that. And it would drive him crazy. You know, you talk about the 6 hours a day in the gym. Yeah, he did that just so he could shut me the fuck up. And I loved it because I already knew what I was going to do. I already knew I was going to give you 28-10 in the playoffs, 35, whatever. But I needed another guy. And I always used to piss him off. You know this very well. You know, I don't know how your team was, but you know for a fact you don't have to be like this to win a championship. You do not. On the court, you have to be like this, Absolutely. But attitudes and you don't have to be like that. So, you know, we used to always go at it, and it was, I don't want to say my fault, but I knew what the fuck I was doing because when he came in, he showed me that he wanted to be a dog. He was that puppy that was nibbling on a chair, and I was like, okay, watch this. Motherfucker, you ain't, fuck, don't shoot. Shoot it again, motherfucker. So, like, it just used to piss him off. And then by the time he got into himself, and I kind of had to make a decision, like, you know, Phil was like, listen, let him do what he do in the fourth quarter. And once I made that decision, I was like, you know, and then because like the first 3 quarters, give me the fucking ball, let me do what I'm going to do, let me get us in the penalty, and then because I'm not a great free throw shooter, fourth quarter, I'll step back and you do what you do. And we did that. And, you know, he sacrificed. He did, because he all those finals where he helped me win a championship, he damn sure could have easily got finals MVP, but that was our plan. Big dog, you eat for the first 3, and the fourth I take over. And my favorite game in Indiana was on our first championship where I fouled out, and I looked at him and was like, because if we lose, it's all my fucking fault. Shaq, you motherfucker, you want to be a rapper, you doing movies, and you ain't concentrating on your free throws. I don't know what my percentage was, but it wasn't black Steph Curry-like. So I already know if we fucking lose this series, it's going to be my fault. I'm looking at Kobe, motherfucker, do me like that. I'm like, and that motherfucker, he had an incredible 4 or 5, and then I knew then we was gonna win our first championship. So him for that.
You were called a Kobe stopper, and you've talked about being stuck on Kobe Island before.
Don't start that, man. I don't need that on my Instagram feed, man. Don't start that talk.
But what do you think? What do you think differentiated Kobe from everyone else? Like, there were obviously other tough covers. Paul Pierce was a tough cover. Yeah. Before you played with D-Wade, D-Wade was a tough cover. Before you played with Bron was a tough. What made Kobe so much tougher to cover than all those other guys?
You know, and I did not like Kobe. We were frenemies. We had this like weird passive aggressive like relationship. I never spoke to him outside of the gym, but there was no one I respected more for his for his mind. Look, this guy was relentless, and people ask me like, what do you miss about playing? And I said, getting in the bus and having those butterflies in my stomach, going to Staples Center, being like, man, this guy's going to try to score 60 on me tonight. He's going to try to embarrass me. He's going to try to embarrass me tonight, And so like, I always had to be my best, always. And if he scored 20, he wanted 30. If he scored 30, he wanted 40. If he scored 40, he wanted 50. Even if he 50, he wanted 60. I mean, like, he was relentless. And so there was never a player that I ever took a play off, and I wasn't fast, but I knew how to play everybody. And I knew when I could sort of like slough off and take shortcuts. You couldn't do that against Kobe because he was so relentless. And so we had this really weird game that we played. Like some days he'd come out and be all buddy. Hey, Shane, how you doing, man? What's going on? And the next day he wouldn't even look at me, right? And the next time he'd be like, oh man, what's going on? And so like he was always like ice and fire with me, just trying to throw me off. And I had the same mentality. I never looked him in the eye. I never said, I can't guard Kobe. He's so much better than me. And so in Mamba Mentality, he wrote about this, and I didn't read about this till after his passing. And his passing really affected me because I always thought I'd have this time to have this conversation with him. So when he passed, it really, really affected me. And I read his page in Mamba Mentality where he said, talking about guys who were Kobe stoppers. And he said, Shane never talked trash to me. Because he knew that it'd fire me up. And he never admitted that like he could guard me. He's like, but I saw that as false humility and I attacked him because of it. But I still respected Shane. I'm like, he's right. He's 100% right. So like he knew me without really even knowing me. And that's what was special about our relationship. And, we never spoke outside the basketball court. I didn't know him. He didn't know me, but like we knew each other and had this weird like dynamic on the court. And so for me, he was the pinnacle of competition, the pinnacle of excellence. And he always brought the best out of me. And that's why I love him.
Absolutely. Which brings me to my next question. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask this because it's something that really gets under my skin. And you just mentioned it. Everyone nowadays, people have a good game and they're like, yeah, I channeled the Mamba mentality. And I'm just like, yo, stop it. Like don't do that. Like that's not okay. And by the way, if Kobe was still alive, I don't think y'all would be saying that because Kobe would call you out and tell you that's actually not it. But like, what do you make of all of these people going on TV? Like, yeah, I got the Mamba mentality. I'm doing this. Like, what do you make of that?
Well, look, Kobe inspired a generation. So all these young guys that came up, they grew up on watching Kobe, him hitting those jumpers and making big shots. And so to them, like that's their dream. Like, you and I watched, the Pistons and Isaiah and Joe D and all these guys, the bad boys. That's what inspired us. All those guys are inspired by Kobe. And so, in this Instagram world, you think somebody just by watching them and I'm going to be that guy. But like, there's only one Kobe, and there's only one person that puts in the work and understands the sacrifice, understands the discipline, understands, every single night what it takes. Right. And to me, that's what Mamba mentality is. It's a relentless pursuit of excellence. And it's not about like, having a big game. It's about like, this is who I am every single time I step out on the court. And it's the hardest thing. It's the hardest thing in life, hardest thing in basketball, to be that dude every single time you lace him up. Right. And so, I think it's cute that these guys are paying homage to Kobe, but man, do it for as long as he did it at that level, for as long as he did it. And then maybe we can talk.
See, and you said that better than I could ever say it. Because you know what I say? I can hate that shit. I hate when people say that. But you put that better than I've ever heard it put. It's about that pursuit of excellence every single night. Because people don't understand that. Like, when you got to do it night in and night out, these young guys come to the league and they like, I want his spot. I want that thing. I want this money, that contract.
Yep.
And when you have to do that every single night, on a soft Monday,
Yep.
And, who got the worst record? Detroit got the worst record in the league right now.
Yeah.
On a soft Monday, soft Tuesday, you rolling into Detroit, it's 2 below outside, and you got to go do that.
Yep.
Then where's that Mamba mentality then?
Yep.
So I definitely can appreciate that. He worked, and that irrational confidence just became a part, became a part of who he is. But that's the irrational confidence king. How did that relationship help you, especially early on in dealing with, y'all was getting y'all ass kicked. Lakers fans do not handle that well. How did that relationship help you continue to do what you were doing and deal with the shit that people were starting to say?
The biggest thing he always ever said was keep the main thing, right? That was one thing. And two, just that was my North Star. You know what I'm saying? You may never get there, whatever, but it's what you get out of it is what you're trying to reach, right? So the ultimate professional, take care of your body, playing every single game, having this type of mentality I'm here for a reason. This is my purpose. My purpose tonight is to kill. My purpose tonight is to go out and help my team win. Having somebody like that early on in my career, changed everything for me. I could say the same thing about, Bron coming year 2 and seeing it from a player perspective. Because, Cole was here. He was gone, retired at this point. So it was just word of mouth. But Bron, I'm really seeing it too. So, just having that relationship with Kobe, it was everything. I still have the text messages. We just had never deleted them. Just things to go back on, things to think of. He was just so smart, man, about just everything, putting you on game, just of things you wouldn't even think of, the attention to detail that he had in basketball, he had in life, he had it in business, he had it in relationships. And that's what I want for my life.
And so Jeremy Lin locker was next to mine. So I got to witness the whole entire thing, bro. From the first game he balled to the next game he balled, it was his locker here, we had an empty locker here, and it's my locker, to where I was getting dressed, bro, in the damn near in the bathroom. In the handicap store, I had to hang my shit up. Bro, it was 1,000 people in the locker room. You was hooping, right?
Yeah.
So you weren't, I don't know how y'all was looking at it, but he was on CNN, MSNBC.
It was crazy.
MTV, BET, the Weather Channel, VH1, they was all in there. Because I kept having to move my seat out. I'm like, damn, what's the Weather Channel doing in here? It's Jeremy Lin, make it rain. Chinese, bro, so many China media, it was crazy. They had to move him to a press conference. Granted, this is maybe 3 weeks before All-Star Weekend.
Mm-hmm.
He is doing press conferences
in
a full room of people. Kobe came in town. Hey, Kobe, don't let this dude bust your ass. He hot. You know what I mean? He hot. Don't let him get you, bro. Kobe come on, BD. Not worried about none of that. I'm like, hey, yo, he is going to kill you guys tomorrow. And I'm telling you this now, bro. Just so when I come in here after the game, right, you're not mad at me. So me and him at dinner, and this is all I'm talking about. No matter what Kobe is talking about, all I keep coming back to, hey, dog, he's going to bust your ass tomorrow, and I'm going to show up in your locker room, and I'm going to be laughing. Bro, Lakers come in town. Hey, dude, he served the Lakers. And after the game, I went right down there. He was tight. Hey, dude, Kobe was so tight. He was so tight. He was hot. Because he didn't, you know what I mean? You didn't know what to, this kid had magic. It was just some shit that, you only see the greats have. You know what I mean? But you see people have these moments on 10-day contracts or like filling in for somebody. Like you see somebody have a great 1 or 2 weeks, but like the attention and the level he was playing at was like ridiculous. And then we played Miami and LeBron and it was like, all right, we done with all this shit.
It's over. They ended it.
They ended it.
Even though the work ain't hard and it's fun, you still have something to do all the time. That yes. I tell people, I says, you still have stuff to do all the time. And that's what, like if I could just show up at the studio and just do basketball, like, no, I have to do X amount of interviews a day. You have to go and pump up the show. That's really what's really fun. I'll tell you this funny story. Not many people know this. And I'm probably going to get in trouble for telling you this. We actually hired Kobe Bryant.
At Turner.
But he didn't want to do all the other bullshit. This is one of the, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying this, but it's one of the like little things that we keep in the college. So he actually signed with us. But then when we started telling him, like, I have to do a bunch of radio shows. Like, hey, I go on this show on Monday. So, hey, from Thursday night TNT, same thing on Tuesday, same thing on Wednesday, same thing on Thursday. He's like, yeah, I don't want to do all that stuff. He says, well, you have to promote the show, Kobe. So Kobe actually is so funny. And like I say, it's probably only 10 people in the world know that he actually signed with us. He's like, no, I'm not doing all that other bullshit. And he just like, no. Nah. But it was funny because, like I say, we always have something to do.
Yeah. So wait, hold on. So Kobe signed, and he was going to be on like just one of the guys on the Thursday night crew.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and he had signed with us. David Levy, my old boss, had signed him to a deal, and we were excited. We were really excited. And then he called me back like a week, 10 days later, somewhere in that time frame, like, yeah, Kobe's not going to come. We're like, why? Because he don't want to do all the PR stuff. He don't want to go on radio shows and talk about basketball. I'm like, well, that's part of the gig. Mm-hmm. I mean, people need to know, hey, I'm on Thursday night. Because if you notice when you do interviews, they're like, hey, welcome from TNT Thursday night, Charles Barkley.
Yep.
Same thing, you talk to Kenny and Shaq. They always, because that's part of the promoting the show. So it was funny, though. He didn't want to do all that. And he never came to work for us.
I have a really hard time trying to motivate people to do something that you should be passionate about, you should love, you should be seeing that it is an honor to be able to play this sport, because you could get hurt at any time and not be able to play. So to me, it's like respect the game. And I have a hard time with like babysitting people and just trying to, I don't know. I'm not built like that. So that's the difficult part for me. I think it's one thing when you talk about like high school kids, everybody, some people sign up, you got to pick the best people you have at the school. Every kid's not that, like that's not their dream, but they may be athletic enough to make a team. Mm-hmm. Okay. But when you're talking about top tier, you're talking about a professional, bro, I don't have time for all the excuses. I don't have time for all of like, I was out last night, like, don't waste my time. Kobe and I used to talk about that, which is so funny because I always think about our conversations about just being ready and how you show up, and the fact that you have to tell your teammates, like, we got a game tomorrow, so you might not want to go out tonight. Like, I shouldn't have to explain those things to you because my hard work is a part of what we're trying to build here. And I need everybody. We need everybody to win. That's the hard part. So coaching for me, I'm like, I cannot motivate you to want to win. Like, that's all that I know. I'm so bad. Like, it's spades. I'm this way with everything though. Spades, backgammon, whatever we playing, bro, dominoes. Like, you don't want to see me in nothing, tongue, whatever it is. Like, I am playing to win. Don't sit down at the table with me if you try. Like, what are we doing? I don't like people who just want to play for fun.
We'd love to know what your favorite era of Kobe was. Was your favorite era 8 or was your favorite era 24? Me personally, I think it's such a tough decision, but I think I got to go with 8. because 8 is just such a huge part of my childhood. Like 8 is who I grew up watching with the fro. And as you get older, you mature more. And I think 8 just didn't give a damn about anything. Like 8 didn't care what you thought. Neither did 24, by the way. But 8, man, 8, a part of 8 never had kids. Like I know what that does to you. Like a part of 8 was just Kobe growing in the cold, man. And so I think for me, 8 was probably my favorite. Us also when I was a huge fan of, my favorite player of all time is Shaq. I've said that before to y'all. I've said it a million times. That's my favorite player of all time. And I watched Kobe grow up with Shaq, win championships as 8. And so for me, my favorite era is 8. I think my all-time favorite Kobe moment is not one in basketball per se, like one moment, like, 81 points, like all those is great. And if you're a Kobe fan, you love those things. But for me personally, my all-time favorite Kobe moment was when I got to stop on Kobe. He slapped me on the leg. I'm like, yeah. Said, that ain't had nothing to do with you, young fella. I just missed. Game-winning shot. Mark Jackson put me in. Few seconds left in the game. Like, yo, you got Kobe. Whoa. Okay, I think I played 27 seconds that game. I had to get a stop to go send the game in overtime and then get a stop to win the game in overtime. And I think that's the only time I played in that game. But I was hyped when Kobe in front of our bench, shoot the left shoulder, turn around, fade, patent and fade away. Miss. Let's go. That ain't had nothing to do with you, young fella. I just missed. Kept walking. I was like, oh, nah.
Have you been hungry for some college football? I am. I cannot wait. And if you love college football as much as I do, jump in on the DraftKings Sportsbook. Go to the app. Takes you 90 seconds, maybe 2 minutes to download. It's a small slate of games, but it's week 0. We got the one over in Dublin. And go to the DraftKings app. If you're a first-timer, let's make it easy. Just pick a team to win. Select a team. Place your first bet. This is going to be a gigantic season because of conference realignment. There's so much mystery and so much fun and so many big games. Oregon, Ohio State, Texas, Georgia. That's now a part of our life. If you've always loved college football, add a layer to it. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Put in the name Colin. By the way, when you download the app, put in the name Colin. That's $200 in bonus bets. If you put in the code Colin, you get $200 in bonus bets from DraftKings, betting just $5. That's a nice head start. It's like you won without winning. Pick a team. It's simple. Download it. Code Colin. $200 off $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.